you want to do one a little bit busier, Nierski?
No, now I'm actually going to do one more me do, just to have, and then we'll do the heavy stuff.
Let me just, okay.
This was considered like the greatest drum set ever recorded in 1973. Like, my God, how did they do this so big? It's huge.
It is though, it's fast.
So we'll do the first song, right?
Yeah, let's do the first one.
First one?
Yeah.
This is too much.
This is too
Great,
much.
but I
This is
mean,
too
you have
complicated.
the big room. Like,
Yeah, the
No,
first
no.
one will react with it better with the big room. This is too much.
I see. I would love to see if it could do this.
I think that would be a cool one.
So we're going to give you a tutorial on Drumtracker. This is a program I haven't used yet. I've had other methods that I've been using to convert audio to MIDI, and I'm really excited about using this program because it's much more in depth, and obviously it's been tailored specifically for drum replacement. So why don't you show us how to get started on this, Matthias?
Definitely. So we did a session earlier with Niersi, and I exported the kick, snare, and the toms from that session now. And we're gonna replace it from the beginning. I'm gonna show you how to add those drums into the Drumtracker program, and then show you how to trigger the drums. So what you start with is that you add an input, and we're gonna start. I'm gonna do just the first drum because the rest of them I've already done a session.
So add input is basically adding audio.
Yeah. So
It's
let's
just Drumtracker terminology.
exactly.
For
Right.
add
So
audio.
let's add a snare, and on the snare I want to add a note number. I want to have GM extended, and then I can search for the snare here. So that's because I want to know where it's exporting to when I'm exporting the MIDI.
So let me just ask you a quick question
Yeah.
here. So when you say, so you want to use it, that's the GM template basically?
Yeah, yeah.
So you wouldn't want to use the Superior?
Yeah, it's the Superior.
It is
we
the
use
same?
GM
You guys do-
extended.
oh,
GM
okay,
extended,
that's good.
Yeah. You can even go that, you can select Superior here, but the note number is
Okay,
actually
yeah.
the same.
Obviously you want to be able to
So-
use it in multiple programs, so.
Exactly. So,
But hopefully Superior.
no, exactly. So I'm using snare center, note number 38, and I'm saying that this is snare center. And then I'm adding an instrument to the snare. And that's because he also played a side stick. So we're gonna have the side stick here as well on the same instrument because it's still a snare.
Okay.
So snare, side stick,
Okay.
and the note number 37. So, and there we go. So now we have
The audio file is in up here.
and here you have the different articulations that you
Okay.
can see. This is the project. So we have the kick drum, snare center, snare side stick, tom 1, tom 2, tom 3. All right?
Right. And so I see that because these are both snares, they're sharing the same track, essentially.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. And then you can see we have main filters here. So I'm going to use the kick filter for the kick and the snare filter for the snare. And then you can go in and edit it if you need it. And for the toms, I'm also going to use the snare preset just to check it out. I mean, these are changeable later. I can show you if we need it.
So basically it would be canceling out any other information on the kick track other than the kick drum
yeah,
itself.
what it
right?
does is it's actually adding MIDI notes on each transient.
Right.
MIDI information, and then you export it and you get it. You import that into Pro Tools.
Right.
And this is, yeah.
So is that literally a filter? It's like in Beat Detective where you set it to look at low-end information or
Analyze.
high-end information?
Yeah,
Is that
pretty
what
much
it's doing?
that. Pretty much that.
Okay, great.
All right, so let's start with the kick drum. And as you can see, I can listen to it here. This is how it sounds like.
Right.
So what you start to do is that you actually highlight the kick drum. And then you have a threshold here.
So it's like how a sound replacer works or
exactly. So
Drumagog,
I'm
right?
just going to add the threshold down here. And as soon as I start playing, it's going to, either I can press render, or I can just start playing and see how it, how it triggers. So as you can see now, it didn't trigger everything here, right? So either I can go in and
Use the tool.
use the tool and lower it even more. I can also see the waveforms more, so I can actually go in closer, and I can, yeah. Now it took it like. So you see,
But that's not a kick drum, that's a tom fill.
no, is it? No, that's a kick. See? The gum.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So you see? So now it seems to trigger good, I think. So now we can actually hit render and see what happens.
It looks good on all those kick hits there,
Yeah, so
right?
now-
you didn't have anything
now it
too
rendered
subtle in
everything.
Right.
So what I can do now is listen or check it out. It seems to be okay. I mean, it doesn't seem to have any artifacts somewhere.
And what if you had a section that it was much more subtle and you had to just deal with that section?
Yeah, exactly.
Could
Good
you cut-
question.
there. You can write automation
I'm pretty
points.
sure that we're going to do that on the snare.
Okay.
The kick seems good. I mean, we can.
But if you were
obviously-
like light little pickups, could you just do that section?
I'm
with a
going to
different
show
thing?
you.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Now that seemed like a double trigger
That
there.
is a double trigger.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then we can
Zoom
go in
in.
here, and what you can do here is that you can actually just mark this one and delete it.
And remove it.
Yeah.
How do you mark it?
Yes.
Click on it?
Just drag.
So it doesn't actually delete it, it just shows it now as excluded.
Yeah, and it's not gonna export it.
Right. There we go.
Yeah, that's the whole song. So that's the kick.
Uh-huh.
So let's go to the snare, which is gonna be a bit more complicated. So I'm just gonna zoom in a bit. Listen.
Now you can expand the waveform out so you can see a little more of the detail of it, right?
Yeah. Now he's playing side stick as well as So I'm gonna find out the parts now. This is side stick.
Mm-hmm.
There's a snare.
Right.
So I'm saying. So what I'm doing now is that I'm selecting the yellow, which is the side stick, and just selecting the area, which is the side stick, like that. And then I continue because I think there's more side
I
stick.
like that right there.
Oh, so it's only one more side stick, I think, right?
I think so.
Great. And you have yellow selected, right?
then-
Which is the
It's no snare.
Okay. There we go. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yellow, the yellow one is selected. So now I select the green and start checking out which one is the snare. So this is a snare.
Yep, that's a
Some
press
mark in
roll.
there,
Here's
yeah.
a big challenge. Drum roll. Just did it for me.
There's the snares.
Perfect. So now it's the snare the rest of the song, I think.
Think so.
So
Now,
let's just add the rest.
But what
of
if
the-
you had 3 audio signals on that? Would it be
Then-
3 colors?
Yeah.
It would be as
Now-
many colors
Yes,
as-
that's what I chose in here.
Got you.
could you? What do you guys call it? You call it a rough, right? I'd say a press roll. So, can't you select? Could you add a rough
Of course.
into this?
I could.
For those little press rolls
Yeah,
that he's
I
doing.
could definitely.
Should we
I
do
could.
that as opposed to trying to write all that in?
I don't know. Let's try both and see what happens.
Yeah.
We
Can you
start
can you
with-
add to this right now, or is that
yeah,
difficult?
of course. Add input. That's edit somewhere here. There we go. So let's add it and see what happens.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Add the rough snare.
Mm-hmm.
Snare.
Snare rough.
Do you see it somewhere?
Snare
rough. There we go. And let's write snare rough like that. Done. So it's added, and let's zoom
and it's
in here.
blue.
Yeah.
Or I think it's a blue or purple.
Yeah. So let's move in. Where was that then? It was
Coming up after here. Like,
Right there. There's the first one.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a snare here.
Mm-hmm.
That's still snare. So
Yeah.
that's just that one.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's do the pink one there then. So,
Ooh.
okay, so let's go in here and start with the side stick here, and just check it out.
So now we're going to be listening to the sample.
This is the
All
side
right.
stick.
Setting the threshold.
So
How are you setting that threshold again?
Just clicking on the actual this. you
So
know.
just doing that, a click and a drag,
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
the threshold appears.
Yeah, and if I
Right.
do Apple and that, it's gonna.
It'll
I can
do that
change.
where you can just have it in one particular
Yeah.
over one particular area.
Exactly.
It's cool.
Gotcha. So
Seems
it's a
good.
kick drum triggering
Okay.
it right now.
Yeah,
Is it
but
click,
the
yeah.
threshold is I just need to adjust the threshold a little bit. So every time I play it back, it's gonna.
But I hear a kick with it.
It's a
No,
click.
no, you don't
It's
hear
a
it.
click thump that he's got.
Yeah.
Oh.
The sound you're hearing is just a click
Yeah.
to check that it's triggering on each.
Oh.
Sound. Yeah, it sounds like a kick. It's a thud.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's a click. So listen here. You hear that? If I do that, it's only snare, and
Gotcha.
if I do that, it's a click sound, and that's just my. You see, I have it here. I can choose a side stick if I want. It's just
Right, just as a
just to listen to
audio
it.
marker to make
So-
sure it's triggering where you want it
There's a
to.
trigger. So, but I prefer the click actually. It's a good thing to
Yeah,
have the
because
click.
it's different.
Yeah. So I just hear that it triggers something. You know. And okay, so let's go. There we go. This one. Actually, here I think we just add the note here.
Yeah, you
because-
just add the flam to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, not flam. You mean
The rough is what you call
Yeah,
it.
the rough.
Press roll.
exactly. So there we go. All right. Did I do anything strange? No. Okay. So the rest of the snare. Let's just add the threshold.
Yeah, it's going
Down
to be a
a
little
bit.
funky in here, but
Yeah, but that's not
Okay.
gonna be. It's good. It's
Yeah, you
actually
can just
good.
have to reset the threshold
Exactly.
for that
It's,
dynamic.
it's
in there.
actually good.
right.
So just play it. Okay, that's good. Let's go through it and let's go back to those.
Okay. Make sure we get the big hits.
What I can do here is also to do just render and then just go through it. You know.
Okay,
So now I render, and it most of the part will definitely work.
right.
So here we go. Just go into this one.
Now, when you're rendering, what is that doing?
The same as playing it. It's just, but
It's
it's
like writing
faster.
it from.
It's faster.
Is it writing it like from RAM to no?
No, it's just faster way instead of playing everything.
I see.
Okay, so it's there.
Yeah.
There it starts there. Okay. So.
So would you set those as different thresholds for that particular kind of roll right
Oh
there?
yeah, definitely. So let's do that.
And you can't scrub it, right?
No.
Okay.
Not no. So let's do that. See?
Right,
Just on those.
right.
Perfect. Done.
Wow.
So that's easy.
What's that?
That's
That's
a
a
kick,
kick.
drum leakage.
Now, my question is, this isn't really representing velocity, so how does
Yeah,
it
it is.
know? But you have that all set at one velocity, at least the way I'm reading that.
Yeah.
No, it's different velocities. The green one here is that. You see, that's velocity.
Oh, so the actual trigger is reading the velocity, and the threshold is just reading where it should
yeah,
be triggered.
yeah.
So it's
Transient,
reading
I
the
guess.
literal dynamic of the drum
Yeah.
from the trigger, not from the
Yeah,
threshold.
No, exactly.
Okay, yeah, because that's in other programs.
Yeah.
That's a different thing. You'd actually be setting this threshold to
So you
not only
see-
show what it is, but also deal with the velocity
Right.
of it.
Exactly.
Right.
So as you can see here, I can go between hits
Uh-huh.
with my
Arrow keys?
Yeah, and I can also add volume to the velocity by
great.
Apple click and do that. Then I can get more velocity.
So Apple click and then page
And
up
I
and
can
down if you
also-
want
I
that to
can
be. If you wanted, if it's like that hit should have been louder.
Exactly, and I can also
Cool.
be very in zoom and go between hits. And if I feel something is out of sync, I can Apple right left, and it's nudging 1 millisecond.
Oh, cool.
1 millisecond's the smallest nudge you can do.
Yeah. So you see, this is pretty good because then you can go through hits pretty fast, and just
Apple
if it's
arrows.
not perfect, yeah. I did all the rendering and all the MIDI translations on all the drums now. So now we're gonna convert this into MIDI files that we're then gonna import into Pro Tools. So what I'm doing here is that I'm selecting all the tracks that I wanna convert, and then I'll just hit convert.
Nice.
And then I come into this window where I choose the destination of the MIDI file. Let's just put it on the desktop. I want to name it as near replaced.
Nice. Yeah, we put Vinny Caliuta in.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What you can do here is you can use a tempo map. If the Pro Tools session had tempo changes,
Right.
Oh, sorry.
You'd import the tempo map at this point?
I could, yeah. If so, I do it at this point. Then it's gonna have all the tempo changes in the MIDI file I export. So then when I import it back into Pro Tools, it's gonna actually have all the tempo changes.
So you would have saved a MIDI file with the tempo map in it
Yeah.
and browsed for
Yeah,
that as well?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, good.
If so, yeah.
That's
yeah.
good. I like it.
So right now the target tempo is 120 because that's what we used. So I'm gonna use MIDI 1, which holds all the MIDI.
Okay.
All this is separate MIDI, or should we do MIDI 0 maybe? MIDI 0 is one MIDI track with all this just in one MIDI track.
I'd split them out.
MIDI 1 is
them out.
split.
Yeah, we split all
Okay,
the time.
I think it's split.
Split instrument.
Okay, and then convert. All right, so I imported the MIDI into Pro Tools, and now we're gonna just listen to it. Everything I did was really to import it, and all I did then was just to upper the velocities of all the hits. Just everything, selected everything, and just upped it like 20 notches.
Right. But
because
also
that was it was
we recorded it quietly.
and so I had to do that. And other than that, it took me 5 seconds to just import it into Pro Tools.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna now play it back. Near, do you want to come in and listen to it?
I would love to.
So we have it here. It's I think we're gonna start with the dry kit.
Yep, start with the dry.
Just listen to that.
That's the acoustic kit.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of detail in there, so Drumtracker had to, adjust to all those thresholds,
Yeah.
and that's the stuff that was
It's a
very
hard
difficult.
thing, yeah. Definitely.
To get all that detail.
All the
It
rough.
took 20 minutes or so to convert this.
Yeah.
The whole track.
Yeah, that's why we did all the
Just
ghost
because of the
notes.
snare, actually, because of these things.
Right.
But it was pretty accurate.
Yeah,
I mean,
incredible.
So now let's hear the.
Okay, same
So
performance.
same performance and go back and just.
Are we going to a layer?
We're gonna
or
go to
We're
a
going
layer.
to Alair actually,
With big
26
room.
inch and a big room and a lot of
26
black-
inch
love
kick
that,
drum.
man.
Yeah. So now suddenly it's.
So it's not that it's not just dry anymore, but every drum is completely different.
And all new room mics now. It's
Room
all
mics.
And listen to this detail, so the snare, I mean, it's all there.
Every ghost note.
Yeah. Even that.
That's good stuff.
Wow.
We're gonna listen to the end because in the end you have some.
Right. That's astounding.
Yeah, that's pretty scary right there.
All right, back to the kitchen. We got the Aleo kit on, right?
Yeah, so we have the Alair kit. It's just very dry right now, so let's just start playing around with that and do some stuff.
But what we're going to do is just absolutely go nuts with it and
Yeah,
do
we're gonna
things that
change
are.
libraries. We can go into whatever.
We're going to do unconventional things with the envelopes, bringing in we have distorted mics that we ran through, amplifiers and all that stuff, and we're just going to do it on the fly and just play with it. And again, the creative palette here has been completely blown wide open now for drums.
Yeah.
So let's
Let's
just
just
have
start
fun.
it.
Let's be stupid.
Serious. Sounds good.
It does. Do you have ambient?
Put it
So
on
that's the replaced drums now.
Is the bullet microphone in?
That's a bullet mic. Now he's going to put a compressor over that. Mitchell Chrome would love that. I think. Now you're adding what?
Ambient.
The mid-ambient. And
All right, play it again. Let's change the kick drum.
sure. Yeah.
That's the Ludwig, just dry, classic.
Let's do some envelope.
Trying it up.
Now it's a completely different kind of kit.
Yeah.
But add some room.
Yeah.
Let's add some on the bullet. That's
Now we're gonna go a little crazy.
Just scratch the surface again.
Yeah.
Now do a pitch change on it too, of the whole kit, right?
Yeah.
And I like when you did the slow pitch change,
Yeah.
which is like being able to pitch change a drum kit. Yeah, go low with it. You go more extreme. But it's funny though, because the hi-hat is still from the real performance.
Right.
So that's not changing,
Right.
just the drums are.
Yeah.
But that's cool, because
Yeah.
it's...
Let's change the snare drum.
We'll do a radical kick.
Let's add something that you did, like a preset that you guys did. I'm just gonna add something. Let's add the mixer preset from Master Ludwig, for example. Just a mixer.
And it's a totally different thing now. It's like...
It's an totally emotional change.
Yeah.
Scene change, you know?
Let's do another one. Back view, the big room.
I'm going to turn it down a little bit.
Okay. Big no, yeah, bro.
And it make you play a different way. As a musician, I would play differently over
Sure.
each drum kit. It would inspire different things.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, let's try. Should we can go into let's go into Hit Factory and do that crazy X-Kit Maniac, I think it is.
Okay.
The one with the pitch down snare drum.
Oh, yeah.
So the
as
snare
a
drum
bass drum.
becoming
Yeah,
a bass drum right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Very pitched down and compressed and stuff like that. I just have to load it in.
Okay.
It's gonna take a few seconds.
You know, I've always wanted to record half-speed sounding drums,
that.
but at the
But at
right
the right
tempo.
tempo.
And I've tried, and the bias
We
on the
did.
tape machine, and you
We
couldn't
did
do
once.
it. Yeah, it was torture. You have to
Yeah.
figure out the BPM and how fast
Here
you
it's coming.
And now it's like, boom.
Oh, that's funny.
So you're using a tuned down snare drum for the kick.
It's a kick drum, yeah.
And now it's
Super compressed.
And then the snare drum is really compressed.
Yeah, exactly. It's some sort of, I don't remember what's done on this one. It's
Great though. It's whatever.
probably some.
I mean, it opens up. It really changes how you think about drums now,
Yes.
because it makes the drums as fluid as what we've done for years with guitars and guitar
That's
effects
exactly
and all.
right. It's almost
now
become
drums
yeah.
can be absolutely mutated
That's
in the same
exactly
way.
right.
You know,
There's-
it's exciting. It's just cool. It's like, hey, a whole new palette.
What's
to
so
play
great
with.
about it, it sounds completely real. It doesn't sound, you don't hear that sort of plasticky thing you sometimes get from sampling drums. And it's always got that like plastic sheen on it somehow. These sound
Just
acoustically
realistic.
real.
Yeah.
Complete. I mean,
Which
listen to
is-
the ghost notes and
Yeah,
everything. It's just all
and
there.
that and the nuance, but also sonically, it just doesn't sound like samples, man.
Right.
It's really nuts.
Yeah.
It's better than I ever thought it would be. You know?
That's
It better
good.
be after everything we went through.
Right, but
you
it's gonna
know?
be great, but it's amazing. It's,
Yeah.
You know? That is just
So that's the kick drum from
Metal Foundry.
Metal Foundry.
I love
So that's
that.
a 100-inch kick drum. Is that what that is?
house bigger with a tree. That is just incredible.
It's super compressed and parallel, and you see the mixer.
I love
In the
that.
mixer, okay.
It's pretty intense here in the mixer.
That's going to be on a lot of hip hop records. That kick drum right there. I know you did it for.
Metal Foundry.
I know you did Metal Guys, but that's going to be on a lot of hip hop records.
But this sounds great. This is the Led Zeppelin kit from Metal Foundry.
Nice. Same drum performance. We're putting it through, in a different studio in some other place in the world.
Right.
The exact same drum performance.
Remember that wacky thing we did, man, with the envelope kick drum
cool.
that almost became
Oh,
subsonic?
look, he pitched it up now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is so cool because you can create loops.
Right.
Original
like
loop.
crazy.
It's like
Oh,
an inside-out
what is
kind
that?
of thing.
Right.
The attack is pushed
So you just
back.
slowed the attack
Yeah,
on
slow
all.
that attack.
It's like an oil drum. Great.
That's some 9 Inch Nails, Trent Reznor kind of stuff
Beautiful.
right there. That's what I'm talking about.
That's
Pitch shifting the whole kit like that, and it's
It's a
smooth though. It's like butter.
That's killer.
That's just
I mean,
fun
it's-
stuff.
it's-
You could
it's
go
just-
on forever. We could do this
Yeah.
all night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you
I
can
mean,
see how it
with
changes
everything.
everything about the feel of the thing. you
Yeah.
know?
I mean,
It's
you could
incredible.
even go into Twisted Kit and do the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, play
Yeah.
the same groove. Let's
Any
try
of the
that.
kits
Yeah.
available.
Yeah, of course.
I like that.
That's
Mission
building a
from-
shed. Building a shed.
And
That's
like,
killer.
just add some distortion to that. Yeah, yeah.
It's great.
This is wide open. It's wide open now.
Could you pitch the whole thing down just so I could hear it all? What? Could you just pitch the whole thing down? The whole?
Yeah, sure.
By the way, let it play the pocket.
Yeah. That is incredible. That's like thunder. Distant thunder.
Thunder! Metal thunder!
We played that for
just to remind me.
off the shit.
Play it for forward. Just play the original drums, just to remind me. Everybody.
Right. Okay,
where
yeah, right.
we
Let's go back to
started,
where we
Oh, that's
started.
so
Okay,
boring,
back.
man.
This is back to original.
You know.
This is the
Right
replace.
drums, yeah.
Oh, this is the source.
Yeah, this is the source.
This is the source? Oh,
That's it.
sounds better than I remember. I thought it was,
Yeah.
okay.
But that we've
It's a
taken it
drum kit.
from-
It's obviously.
Wait, we go back to the delete. Just go back to this right here. And then back to the totally mutated.
Surprisingly musical. It's like Mino.
Oh yeah, it's me.
It's like Mino. It's
And I
like,
slowed it down.
oh, notes.
The revolution will be televised.
Drums from Venus.
All right, it's over.
That's
Goodbye.
great. Yeah. Yeah. So go out and get it.
Go out and get it, kids.
Or type it in and get it.
Absolutely.
Wow.